This is the story of a classic sniper, the kind of man who can take down his target from miles away, even with the blindfold over his eyes. But this sniper was once just a regular math teacher. He hated war and guns. However, one day, something happened in his life that turned him from a decent teacher into a ruthless sniper. The story begins in a small village in Ukraine, where we see a little house. Inside that house lives a couple, happily spending their days together. The man's name is Mykola, and his wife's name is Nastya. Nastya is a drawing artist who carves wood and turns it into beautiful statues. Mykola is a teacher who teaches math to children at a nearby school. He's a really good teacher, and all the kids like him, except for one named Evan. Evan is a very rude boy. Every day, he causes trouble for his teacher, Mykola. Evan belongs to a rich family, while Mykola is a poor man. That's why Evan mocks Mykola's looks and the clothes he wears. He wants Mykola to get angry and hit him, so that he can complain and get Mykola fired from school. But Mykola is a calm person. He doesn't let those insults bother him and continues to live peacefully. Since there are no electronic items like a TV in Mykola's house, he doesn't really know what's happening in the world. One day, while Mykola is at school, he hears on TV that Russia has attacked Ukraine. Many soldiers have died, and Russia has taken over several areas. That evening, when Mykola comes home, he finds out that his wife is pregnant. He's overjoyed because he's going to be a father. The two of them celebrate this happy moment together. The next day, Mykola says goodbye to his wife and leaves on his bicycle to teach the kids at school. But on the way, he sees two soldiers smoking cigarettes and wearing strange uniforms, not like the usual Ukrainian ones. It feels odd, but Mykola assumes maybe the government just changed the soldiers' uniforms, so he doesn't think much about it and quickly heads to school. When he reaches there, he finds the entire school empty. Not a single student has shown up. That's when he feels that something's wrong. Then on TV, he sees breaking news. Russian soldiers have entered Ukraine and are taking control of cities. Now he realizes that the soldiers he saw earlier were actually Russian. Worried about his wife, who's home alone, Mykola immediately jumps on his bicycle and races back. But it's already too late. When he reaches home, he sees those same two Russian soldiers brutally beating his wife. Mykola tries to save her, but they beat him up too. Mykola begs them, "Please don't hurt my wife. She's pregnant." But the soldiers don't listen. They keep hitting them both. A little later, one of the Russian soldiers searches Mykola's house, and when he finds nothing valuable, he angrily sets the house on fire and starts to leave. Seeing her home burn, Nastya bursts with rage, grabs a stone, and attacks the soldiers. One of them fires a gun, and Nastya dies on the spot. Mykola feels the ground slip away from beneath his feet when he sees his wife die. He goes to her, scoops her into his arms, and starts sobbing uncontrollably. After a few hours like this, two Ukrainian soldiers come up to Mykola. Seeing Mykola's wife dead, the soldiers are filled with sorrow and put a hand on Mykola's shoulder, telling him not to lose courage. Then the two soldiers start digging a grave for Mykola's wife, and after digging one, they tell Mykola to bury her there. After his wife's death, Mykola is completely broken. He is now utterly alone. Those Russian soldiers didn't just kill his wife, they also burned his future child and his home. Now he's consumed by the fire of revenge, and he must at all costs kill the Russian soldier who shot his wife. There's only one way to get revenge. He must join the Ukrainian soldiers. So he begs the two soldiers standing there, "Please take me with you. I want to join the Ukrainian army." The two soldiers accept Mykola's plea, put him in a vehicle, and take him to a military base. Before leaving, Mykola keeps a small statue his wife had made with her own hands, something she'd made to protect them. When they reach the military base, the senior officer sees Mykola and gets angry at the two soldiers for bringing him. He refuses to enlist Mykola because the senior suspects Mykola might be a spy. After the senior questions the two soldiers thoroughly about Mykola tells the full story, how Russian soldiers mercilessly killed his wife and burned his house. He explains that he has no reason left to live and that he wants to kill the Russian soldier to free his country. Hearing this, the senior agrees to recruit Mykola into the Ukrainian army, and his training begins the next day. Because Mykola was an ordinary man, training is very hard for him. He'd spent his life teaching math and had no experience with guns.
When all the soldiers assemble their rifles, Mykola is very slow compared to them and is the last to finish assembling his gun. Seeing this, the officer thinks Mykola will never become a good soldier, but Mykola doesn't give up and stays focused on his training. Even when all the soldiers are asleep at night, Mykola keeps practicing to learn more. One day, the senior tells everyone they're short on snipers and must increase their number to fight the Russians. He asks who among them wants to become a sniper. Some soldiers stand up, and among them is Mykola because he wants to become a sniper too. The other soldiers laugh at Mykola. The senior says he's not ready to be a sniper. He can't even assemble and disassemble a gun properly, so becoming a sniper is out of the question. Mykola replies that he can become a good sniper, and that he just needs one chance to prove himself. The senior gives him a shot. Okay, assemble this rifle in 20 seconds. To prove himself, Mykola blindfolds his eyes and quickly takes the gun apart and puts it back together. It takes him only 18 seconds. Seeing his speed, everyone is stunned.
The people who were laughing at him before are now clapping for Mykola. Even the senior officer is impressed by him, and seeing his talent, he includes Mykola in the sniper training program. During the training, Mykola is handed an old model rifle while everyone else gets new modern weapons. Seeing this, Mykola also asked for a modern weapon. The senior tells him that if he wants that gun, he'll have to prove himself first. Now Mykola has no other option, so he takes what he's given and moves on. During training, the senior tells everyone that no matter what situation a sniper faces, he must not move even an inch from his position. He must stay locked on his target. To test this, the senior fires bullets near each trainee, and anyone who flinches or moves is eliminated from the exercise. But when it's Mykola's turn, he doesn't move even slightly. He stays perfectly still, focused on his target, and that's how Mykola passes the test. In the next training exercise, each sniper is shown their target only once, and then their eyes are covered with a blackboard. They must then shoot the target by estimating its position. Some soldiers manage to pass this test, but when it's Mykola's turn, his shot misses slightly and he fails the test because the rifle he was given was old and inaccurate. Everyone knows that if Mykola had been given a modern rifle, his aim would have been perfect. The next training session is even harder. This time the snipers have to shoot their targets in the dark using only the brief light from a flare. The senior fires the flare into the sky and everyone takes their shot, but no one hits the target. Everyone except Mykola has already fired. He realizes that shooting directly in the flare's light isn't possible. So instead of firing right away when the flare goes up, Mykola uses the light to measure the distance to his target, applies his math knowledge, and takes a perfect shot. Everyone, the senior and the soldiers, is stunned. No one had ever completed this task before. Only Mykola did it. The senior is so impressed that he finally gives Mykola the code name he wanted, Raven. Days kept passing like this and Mykola continued to give his all to the training. Finally, the day arrived when the results of their training were to be announced. The colonel saluted Mykola and told him that he had passed the test. A few days later, the colonel came to Mykola and told him to pack his gear. They were heading out on a mission. News had come in that some Russian soldiers had taken over a checkpoint. And this is where the real story begins. Soon Mykola's team reached the location and took their sniper positions. They were just about to take out the Russian soldiers when they noticed a car approaching the checkpoint. Because of that, the colonel ordered everyone to hold their fire. The Russian soldiers stopped the car and told the people inside to step out. They checked their passports and searched the entire vehicle. When everything seemed fine, the soldiers allowed them to leave, but they kept their passports. When the travelers asked for their passports back, the soldiers began beating them brutally. Seeing this, the colonel gave the order to open fire. In just one swift moment, all the snipers took out their targets, and that's how their first mission was completed. After the mission, when everyone returned to base camp, Mykola noticed that many of his comrades were missing. Worried, he asked, "Where are the others?" He was told that the rest of the team had been sent on another mission. The next day, Mykola got the heartbreaking news that many of his fellow soldiers were killed during that mission. They were all taken out by a Russian sniper, a man named Sergei Seri, the best sniper in all of Russia. Days kept passing like this and Mykola went out on his next mission with his new team. Once they reached the location, they planted mines all around and took their positions. After a while, the Russian soldiers arrived, and among them was Ivan, the same boy who used to trouble Mykola back in school. Ivan had now joined the Russian army. But when the colonel gave the order to shoot, Mykola hesitated for a moment because he didn't want to kill his own student. But then Mykola pushes his emotions aside, shoots the landmines they had placed, and there's a massive explosion that kills the Russian soldiers, including Ivan. After everything calms down, the colonel angrily asks Mykola, "When I ordered you to hold fire, what were you thinking?" Mykola answers that one of those Russian soldiers was my student and I didn't want to kill him. The colonel explains that Mykola shouldn't feel sorrow for Ivan. Here, Ivan wasn't his student, but his enemy, and joining the Russian army was Ivan's own choice, so Mykola needn't feel bad. After the mission, they all return to base camp. The colonel fully trusts Mykola and spends a lot of time with him. He shows Mykola a family photo and explains that he has 3 people in his family. His daughters don't even know he's a soldier. He told them he's a businessman and his wife has never told the children he's in the military. Then Mykola tells the colonel his whole story, how ruthlessly the Russian soldiers killed his wife, and he becomes emotional, but the colonel steadies him. The next morning, they head out on another mission. This mission is important because they've learned a group of Russian soldiers will pass that route. The colonel and Mykola reach the location quickly and took their positions. Soon they spotted 2 Russian soldiers waiting for the rest of their team. Mykola notices that one of them is the soldier who shot his wife. He's right in Mykola's crosshairs. He asks for permission to shoot, but the colonel refuses. Mykola grows furious. This soldier killed his wife and Mykola had joined the army to take revenge. He asks again for permission and the colonel refuses once more. Unable to control his emotions now, Mykola fires. The shot kills the soldier instantly. But the problem is their position is blown.
The colonel yells, "What have you done?" Worse, Russia's deadliest sniper, named Siri, who's nearby, now detects their location. The colonel realizes Siri is close and starts searching for him, but before he can pinpoint Siri's position, Siri lands a headshot. The colonel is killed instantly. Mykola realizes the terrible mistake he's made. His action cost the colonel his life. He knows the Russians have located them, and Russian soldiers begin heavy firing and bombing on Mykola's position. Seeing the situation worsen, Mykola decides to fall back. He lifts the colonel's body and retreats from their position, eventually escaping enemy territory and making it back to base. Mykola is filled with grief over the colonel's death and blames himself. He swears he will kill Siri and avenge the colonel. Soon, Mykola learns of 2 Russian snipers and heads out on another mission immediately. He reaches his position, takes aim, and manages to kill 1 sniper. During that fight, the other sniper shoots Mykola in the side, but Mykola refuses to give up and somehow kills the second sniper as well. Because he's badly wounded, Mykola retreats to a secret base to rest and tend to his injuries. While he's recovering, the army major calls and tells Mykola they have located the sniper who killed the colonel. Mykola returns to base and the major briefs everyone about the sniper. The major reveals the sniper's name, Siri, the finest sniper in all of Russia, whose aim has never missed. Siri has already killed 6 of Ukraine's top snipers, so we can't afford to take him lightly. The major explains that Siri kills Ukrainian soldiers and then records videos of it to upload on social media, just to break the spirit of the Ukrainian army. He tells everyone that Siri is the kind of sniper who rarely changes his position. He usually stays put in one location and hunts down his enemies from there. Now, the team makes a plan. They'll move towards Siri's location in 2 groups. According to the plan, the first team will attack the Russian soldiers head-on, and while they're distracted, the second team will attack from behind. Using that distraction, Mykola will enter the building and kill Siri. After the entire plan is finalized, they all move toward the target location. Once there, all the snipers take their positions and get ready to fire. Meanwhile, Mykola quietly sneaks into the building, where he spots 2 Russian soldiers deep in conversation. Without wasting any time, Mykola kills both of them and moves further inside. Then, as planned, he signals his team, and the moment they get the signal, the Ukrainian snipers open fire, wiping out the Russian soldiers. Siri notices something's wrong. None of his men are reporting back. Sensing danger, he heads up to the rooftop, where another Russian sniper is supposed to be stationed. But when he gets there, that sniper is already dead. Siri starts to panic, realizing the Ukrainian soldiers have surrounded him from all sides. He calls his base for backup, but the backup team needs 10 more minutes to reach him. Hearing that, Siri rushes back to his position and starts scanning for Ukrainian soldiers. But then, he notices a small statue on the table, the same one Mykola placed there earlier, the one his wife had given him. Before Siri can even process what's happening, Mykola attacks him, stabbing him multiple times and finally killing him. During the struggle, another sniper inside the building becomes alert. But before he can react, Mykola throws a grenade toward him, and the explosion kills that last sniper too. Moments later, Siri's backup team finally arrives at the building, unaware that Siri is already dead. When they try to contact him, Mykola answers the call and says, "You're all going to die." Right after saying that, he shoots the truck driver dead. The sound of gunfire throws the Russian soldiers into chaos. They jump out of the truck, not realizing Ukrainian snipers are already waiting for them. The Ukrainians open fire, taking down each Russian soldier one by one.
A few days after the mission, Mykola visits his wife's grave because the promise he made to her has now been fulfilled. He's killed everyone responsible for her death and for the colonel's death. Standing by her grave, Mykola vows to serve his country until his last breath, and with that, he walks away. And just like that, the film comes to an end. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and give it a thumbs up.